Too high to get over. Yeah, yeah. Too low to get under. Yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the middle. That's what we talking about today. You stuck in the middle. You stuck in the middle of what everybody else doing when you have yet to focus on you. So the other day, I was just thinking. I was on TikTok, right? And this dude had made a TikTok video. And he said everybody nowadays just want to be to themselves because they don't want to deal with everybody because of how other people's behaviors have been over the years and blah, blah, blah. And everybody just prefers to be to themselves. And I just find that to be kind of odd because there are people that are naturally, I wouldn't say to themselves, but me personally, I'm an ambivert. So I can be super outgoing and then I can be introverted. Right? So I am a mix of both. I am a duality. And I just find it so weird that, like, you know, I watch True Media. I watch a lot of his content. And he was saying how, like, why do it seem like everybody want to be known nowadays? Why do it seem like everybody just want to be a rapper and want to be put on? Why can't they just be, you know, regular people? And I think the reason why he said that, this is the thing that kind of choked me up about what he said, though. Because sometimes I've been listening to his content. He has great content. But sometimes some of the stuff he be saying, I'm like, So, he was like, why does everybody want to be a somebody? And I'm like, what? Everybody is a somebody. What are you talking about? Right? Okay. So the topic for today is, you're not going to find yourself in a mix of everybody else. Okay? You're not going to do it. Because when I was growing up and I was in high school, I could go to whoever table I wanted to go to. For the majority, from the nerds, I would say minus the popular people. I never wanted to sit by them anyway. Right? Like, the popular people, and I graduated high school in 2013. So that kind of gives you my age, okay? I never really wanted to sit by the popular people anyway. But everybody else, I could sit at whoever lunch table I wanted to sit at in high school, okay? I was one of those people where, like, I would float from whoever table that I felt sitting by that day, okay, right? So everyone today wants visibility, they want followers, they want likes, but it's one thing that they're afraid of doing. And I always wondered this when I was back in high school. I'm like, why do the girls be having their friends come with them to the bathroom? I always was puzzling that growing up. I'm like, why does she need somebody? Like, I remember somebody did that to me once, right? And they was like, oh, such and such. They was like, can you come with me to the bathroom? I was like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, girl, go. I said, girl, go to the bathroom. I don't know what that is, where people have to have somebody by them, near them, breathing their air, and going to the bathroom. I do not care. Hello, everyone. Okay, this is going to be a good little talk, so ride with it. Okay, so I never understood that. And then I remember there would be moments in school where, like, I want to be alone, and I love art class. Art class was my favorite subject, okay? Because I'm a digital design coach, by the way. So I love art class. And people would get all funny and weird whenever you wanted to spend time alone by yourself or to yourself. But this is the thing. I've always valued alone time. Probably because I'm technically an only child. Technically. Y'all know how that works. Where it's like, when you're a technical only child, it basically means you're an only child on half of the family, but the other half of the family, you are part of the siblings. Okay? So I'm technically an only child. Okay? So I value my alone time. And then other people who have, like, they have siblings. That's you. Okay, that's me. Okay, great. You get what I'm saying. So it's like, the other half of the family, you're used to being around their energy and in their company, right? And so when other people have like big families like that, or they have cousins, or they have siblings in their house, or aunties and uncles in their house, they're so used to being around everyone else's energy and everyone else's thoughts and their opinions and everything else. And I almost feel like people do that in high school too. And I understand to a point why they do that. But for me, I feel like once I hit my junior year in high school, I didn't give a fudge about did I fit in the clique, who clique was I with that day, who lunch table was I sitting with. I didn't care. I didn't care about none of that. Okay? So I make this video to say that a lot of people want visibility. They want to be an influencer. They want to have a platform. But the very thing that they're missing from all of that is being able to be in solitude. They have no idea what it's like spending time with themselves. They have no clue on how to think for themselves. They have no clue on what exactly makes them tick. And that's how we begin to lose ourselves over time. Like, y'all, I was on TikTok. Thank you. I was on TikTok, right? And I don't know if y'all watch Love and Hip Hop at all. It don't even matter if you do, if you don't. But it's this guy named Scrappy on there. And I just so happened to scroll on TikTok and I saw his live video, right? And he was like, I never had real alone time because I always had a girlfriend, right? There are people out here like that where they go from relationship to relationship to relationship and they just never have time to really sit down and think about what they want to do. And he was like, this whole time I've been on Love and Hip Hop, because Love and Hip Hop is finna have like a final season or however. And he was like, this whole time I just been like helping other people get on the show and introducing people to, like their producers or however. And he like, this is finally a time where I'm single. And he was like, this is finally a time where I'm single. And he was like, this is my time right now. I'm about to get ready to do this, and this. And it's like when you sit down with yourself, then you're able to figure out where you want to pivot, where you want to go, what direction are you going now that a chapter has closed. Because for a lot of people right now, their chapters are closing. That may be, you might have a job layoff, you might have to what is that, move up out somebody's house, get a new roommate, try to pivot, try to figure out where you gonna live. So everybody right now is going through a pivotal moment right now in life. But the best way for you to pivot is for you to find clarity. And how do you find clarity? You have to be by yourself. You cannot be tagged along to any and everything that the next person doing or that your friends say to do. Because what happens is you start to be scattered brained. Okay? Trust me, I've been through this. So what happens is you start to be scattered brained because you listen to Timmy, Susie, and Shaniqua. Okay? You listening to all them folks. Okay? Now listen, you allow other people to tell you who you are, how to be, and what to look like. Okay? And that's a problem. I remember I sat down and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not feeling good about myself. Okay? There was a time, I would say, what year was this? It was like, I don't even know what year it was. I want to say it was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. And I just did not feel that great about myself back in 2018. So I had sat down, excuse me, I got all these burps. So I had sat down and I'm like, what is wrong? Like, I really sat down with myself. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why do I feel not the greatest about myself? So then,
hey, Yona, is there anything you need to clean or put together for tomorrow?
Excuse my clock.
With the sultry days.
Excuse my clock. It reminds me of stuff. Okay. So yeah, I had sat down in 2018. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why do I just feel so freaking sad? Right? So then, like I said, in 2019, I had made this coloring book, right? And I say this time and time. Y'all gonna know this. I'm a digital design coach. So I made this coloring book, right? Okay, this is the coloring book. This is the coloring book from my frustration that I had back in 2018, but I made the coloring book in 2019. Okay, this is on Amazon, by the way. So this is an affirmations coloring book for creatives and entrepreneurial spirits. I knew intrinsically that I was an entrepreneur. I knew intrinsically that I was made to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know it yet. I'm like, why do I feel so sad, right? So I ended up making these coloring pages with these affirmations that go together. Okay. Not just that, but it was my breakout story from being frustrated because I had a particular family member, like we all have a particular family member that's always imposing their opinions, right? And you just get to a point where you're just like, I want to make my own opinions about me. I want to make my own formulations about where I want to be in life, where I want to go, what makes sense for me, not what makes sense for them. So I was at like this frustrated standstill, like, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel so sad? It was because I kept trying to listen to an opposer, an opposing opinion from what I truly believed in. Okay? So I had a family member that believed in the 9 to 5, right? And so 2018, I'm about 21. Okay, when I made this coloring book, right? This affirmations for creatives and entrepreneurial spirits coloring book, right? Okay. So I'm just like, my family member believes in 9 to 5. I believe in entrepreneurship. I believe in creativity. My favorite class in high school was art. I went to a camp that teach web design, camcorder, filming, photography, and video editing. That's what I care about. So intrinsically, I always cared for entrepreneurship, creativity, right? But you got somebody in your ear keep talking about 9 to 5. It's the stable way. You gotta get your benefits. And you just like, yeah, I see that's what you did. I see that's what the whole world did. But in my inner being, this is what I care about. Okay? And then you'll be push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And then you're wondering why you feel like you are super unsatisfied, not just where you are in life, but you're like, why does my life not make any sense? Right? Okay. So this is why people stay scattered and stuck, okay, with who they are and their identity, okay? So it's so many opposing opinions. Somebody in your life telling you some ish that you really don't vibe out with, but because they have somewhat of a stature or of a status more than you feel like their opinion is holier than thou. For some reason, it might be your parents, it might be your cousin, might be your auntie, might be your caregiver. And they position themselves to be like the holier than thou person. Okay? So you feel like you have to listen to whatever they're saying. Okay? Your cousin, I feel that. I feel that. Because a lot of people, you know what I noticed about people? They like to be right. They just like to be right, and it's about being seen. It's about visibility, right? Just like everyone's like, they want attention, they want clout, they want a platform, they want to be an influencer. They just want to be seen. They want to be valued. And that's how I had to see my family member. It's like somewhere in their life, they weren't valued, or they just weren't seen the way that they wanted to be seen. And so they're always opposing and dishing out their opinions on what you should do and how they would have did this and why you ain't do it this way. Yes. So it almost makes you feel like they're nitpicking you, but really? Oh my God. It almost it almost seemed like they're nitpicking you, but they're not necessarily nitpicking you. I had to learn this. When I created this coloring book, this helped me heal that friction and that pain of like, why does this relationship with this family member feel like a push and pull, like friction type of thing? So I ended up publishing this on accident on Amazon. Yes, I have a whole spiel about that, but I'm not going to spiel it here today. I accidentally published my coloring book on Amazon, okay? So, and that was in 2019. Another reason is you're constantly looking for approval from close friends, close family members, okay? You're starting and stopping things. Let's say you do have time for yourself and by yourself, and you're not around family members and friends, but it's like, let's say the 9 to 5 is in your way, right? Because a lot of people talk about, oh, if you're going to start entrepreneurship, you're going to have don't quit your day job. Okay, but I'm like, that's not my story. That's not my story. That's not how it went. Everybody thinks if you're going to enter entrepreneurship, it has to be this big old thing, and you have to keep your day job, and you gotta do. Everybody's story is different. I promise you. Okay, but you do start that project. Like I hear a lot of ladies say, "Oh, I did type up like my book on my laptop, but like I didn't really have time to finish that because life be life and my kids and da da da." But that's the thing where you go in and out of what you like versus what everybody else want for you. What you like, what everybody else want for you. What you like, what the 9 to 5 want you to do for them. Okay? And it's like this tug of war, push and pull, and you like, then you get to a point, you honestly get to a point where you just like, what the literally. And I don't know if you guys are there now, but I was definitely there in 2018. Like, something ain't right. Like, the way that I'm living my life, I don't like it. Okay? You never sit long enough with your thoughts. Okay? When you're too scattered brain, where you're in between what they want and what you like, you're too scattered brain, and you never sit down long enough to write out your thoughts, to plan out what you want to do. A lot of people are saying like, you do your 9 to 5 and then you'll do your 5 to 9. How? I'm like, how the hell is y'all doing that? I don't know how y'all doing that. I be like, how you got that energy? You don't got that energy unless you got, the only way you got that energy to do a 9 to 5 and then a 5 to 9 is if you like your 9 to 5. I promise that gotta be the only way. It gotta be, because you gonna be drained once your job is done with. Okay? And then the last thing, you change who you are depending on who you are around. That is the biggest one I've seen. Like when I was growing up in high school, I'm a graduate of 2013, so it's been a minute. Okay? That was the number one thing that I observed in high school was that people would switch up. People would switch up. So like I remember I had these two friends in middle school. So it was like, okay. So the way that my school system was, I'm in Wisconsin, by the way. It's like we have a elementary to middle school, and then we have a high school. But it's like the branch off of this school, right? I hope that makes sense. Like, let's just say it's a sister. Let's just say they're sister schools, but one's an elementary, middle school, and then one's a high school. So I went like that. I have friends in my I was just yelling. I have friends in my middle school, and then as soon as we got to high school, you know the switch up came. You know dang well the switch up came. I was like, oh, okay. And it's so funny because I never was salty about it. I just observed it. Like I don't know what it is about me. It's like when people do weird around me, I just observe it. I don't even get mad. I just be like, oh, okay. I don't even get mad about it. All right. Now I wrote a bunch of chicken scratch for this video. I'm like, I don't even know. Okay. So if your environment is always distracting you from the person that you want to be, you got to learn to separate yourself. And also, if you continue to have people always near you and always around you, you're never going to shape your identity to where you meet your goals in life. If you always have people imposing their opinions on you, you're never going to shape your identity to the real mission that you have inside of you. If you have been blessed with skills like designing, video editing, photography, biking, skiing, whatever it is, right? How are you going to be fixated on that when you're fixated on seeking approval from others or what other people is doing with their life? You're not making time for you. And that's your biggest issue. Okay? That's your biggest problem. The reason why I'm making this video, y'all, is because I went to go see Michael Jackson. Okay? I went to go see the Michael Jackson movie. I went twice. So yesterday, I went. And then, not last Tuesday, but the other Tuesday, I went to go see the Michael Jackson movie, right? Okay. So, everyone knows that he had like the biggest spotlight. Everybody wants the spotlight, but what people don't understand is if you want the spotlight, if you want true visibility, be an influencer, be a content creator, have a platform, you have to learn how to separate yourself. You have to learn how to separate yourself from other people. And that was the biggest lesson in the Michael Jackson movie. Okay? You cannot be afraid to stand alone. That is the biggest message within the Michael Jackson movie. Yes, he had his father. The family, the family, the family. He just kept saying family. It was irking me. It was irking me real bad. And I went to go see the movie twice. It was a great movie. If you ain't seen it, you need to take your asses to the movies. Okay. So anyway, so the scene that got me. Okay, wait, I wrote it down. Hold on. So Michael Jackson in the beginning, he was allowing his dad to dilute his identity. The crazy thing, there was this scene in the movie, right? I ain't gonna tell the movie though. It's a scene in the movie that made me squint my eye. So I remember in the movie he said something like, "You not like other kids," right? He said, "You not like other kids. You not like other people," right? He said that. He said this in 2 different scenes of the movie. Okay. His dad was diluting his identity. His dad knew that Michael Jackson was different. That's why he said, "You not like other kids." Okay? So Michael Jackson's dad saw how gifted Michael Jackson was. And so he wanted to use some of his gifting for, quote, the family. Okay? So look, so in the Michael Jackson movie, Michael Jackson had to learn how to separate himself from his old identity. That is what everybody is learning to do right now. You wonder why the world feels dark? It's because people have to start shifting and pivoting to their new self. And some of the people who have their old identities, they are trying to stop people from pivoting and creating their original identity. That is what the Michael Jackson movie is about. Going from your old identity, going from what you knew, going from what your old behaviors and your old programming, to thus creating a new program for yourself and a new direction for your life. Okay? Michael Jackson, he sat there in that room and he was just like, I got to do something new. I got to be me. He was with Bill, his security guard, right? His security guard named Bill in the movie. Ain't gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna say little parts to help this video. Okay. So he's like, I got to do my own thing. And he was like, well, you could move out. And he was like, I ain't ready for that. Okay. So this the part that get me. Oh my god. Okay, I'm trying not to tell the movie. I'm trying not to tell the movie. Okay. He was in he okay. So when he was in that meeting, I hope y'all saw it. Let me know if y'all saw the movie. Put it in the chat. Put me in the chat if you saw the movie or not. Put it in the chat if you saw the Michael Jackson movie or not. Okay. So he was in that business meeting, right? He was sitting at the table and he had all the execs and the ARs and whoever, right? For the music, for him to finally go solo, right? And he was like, who are you? He's learning discernment. Okay. So when he picked out his new manager, he had to use his discernment. Okay. And then he was like, who are you? And I like, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying not to tell the movie. But anyway, he got to picking out his new HR, not HR, A&R or executive producer. I don't know the word for that. Okay. But anyway, he picked out his new one. So he used his discernment because he wanted somebody who knew his new trajectory and his new direction for him to thus pivot to his new identity. Okay? Okay. That's what I made this coloring book for. That's why I made this coloring book for. Affirmations for creatives and entrepreneurial spirits. When you know you was not made for a dang dong 9 to 5 and you were made to be creative. That's why I make this coloring book in 2019. Okay? That's why I think I went to go see that Michael Jackson movie twice. Because I'm not going to see it a third time. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. But I went to go see the movie like 2 Tuesdays ago. And then this past Tuesday, I went to see it again. But yeah, it's about having clarification for where you want to go and who you want to be, thus changing your identity. And when you change your identity, it comes with boundaries, limits, and standards and new things that you have to uphold. Now that you are changing who you are. Because when you change who you are, this is why they say when you grow, a lot of people don't come with you. It's because y'all are on different frequencies. A lot of people want to use this language like, oh, you think you better than somebody. And that's what Michael Jackson dad was using that language in the dang dong so and so. It's not that you think you're better than somebody. It's that now that you have a new trajectory and you want to elevate, with elevation, it comes separation. With elevation, it comes alone time so you can think. When you have people who are always opposing themselves onto you, you're like, I can't. You have to set a boundary. You have to set a limit there because it doesn't allow you to propel to where you want to be and where your new direction is. This person, his dad would not allow him to be consistent in being solo and being alone and allowing him to believe in himself and allowing him to have self-trust. And that's where you have to have that cutoff limit for, the relationship between him and his dad. So because he was like this push and pull type of feeling between the family and going solo and being that solo artist that he knew he could be, right? Being in entrepreneur mode, being in creative director mode with the Thriller music video, right? Okay. See, you are meant to be the person that stops adjusting to what everybody else wants you to do. And that's where the difficulty lies. Okay? That's where the difficulty lies. And I remember seeing some TikTok video and somebody was like, oh, I just got done seeing the Michael Jackson movie and Michael Jackson was a people pleaser. Oh my God. I don't know why people like to label stuff so bad. Just for people to like understand. I think people use labels so that they understand things quickly. I don't think Michael Jackson was a people pleaser. I don't think so. I don't sense that Michael Jackson was a people pleaser. Like, I feel like there are different temperaments of people. And different temperaments of people like to see certain things happen versus other people like to see another thing happen. That don't necessarily mean Michael Jackson was a people pleaser. I don't believe that crap. Stop that. Stop that. People always coming up with some labels. Okay. So anyways, Michael Jackson was battling family or solo. Family or solo. Okay? But you get the spotlight. Hello, anybody? Clout, Instagram, likes, comments, platforms, in YouTube, subscribers, monetization, all of that. You have to learn how to be alone. Okay? You have to know what your mission is. So here go Michael Jackson, did the victory tour. Okay? And his dad in the background talking about we gonna go to Paris, Tokyo, London. Boo, 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 boo. Just keep talking about what Michael Jackson gonna do. Why you keep volunteering this man? He his own person. Now that's the agitation right there for me. Because when folks be acting like you not your own person, that's the type of issue that I don't like. Okay? So I remember when I went to the movie the first time, right? And Michael Jackson got on that stage and he was at the victory tour with his family members. He went to the victory tour, yes. After the accident, that sad accident, man. I was crying. I was crying. I was crying in that scene in the movie. I promise you I was. Cause I remember as a child, like my mom, she loved Michael Jackson. And my dad, he played Michael Jackson too, but my mom played Michael Jackson. And I cried in the scene because I remember as a child, my mom was watching like this Michael Jackson video, and that's where he had like that accident with like the fire and stuff. And so when they redid that scene in the movie, when I was watching the Michael Jackson movie, I started crying. I did, especially when he it's making me emotional now. so so yeah, when he had that scene where he was in the hospital with his mom, that scene right there, not when the actual accident happened did I start crying, but I remember seeing that as a child when my mom used to watch like a lot of my mom, she would watch a lot of Michael Jackson and a lot of Prince videos. So that's how I know this stuff. Okay. So anyways, and plus my mom, she will always play the not Michael Jackson. She will always play the Jackson 5 Christmas music. So anytime it was Christmas time, we would play the Jackson 5 Christmas. That was straight up Michael Jackson Christmas. So anyways, the part where Michael Jackson and his mom was in the hospital, that's the part that I started crying. I was like, cause he was like, it was not your fault, right? So that's when he had that turning point. He was like, you know what? I'm going on this victory tour, and I'm going to announce to everybody, this is our farewell tour. I said, when I was in that movie theater, I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. I'm like, you better tell it like it is. You better tell them how it is, for real. Because people be having you effed up. Folks be acting like, hold on. Folks be acting like you they robot. I don't think so. I am my own individual, and this is what I want to do now. This is what I was back then when you raised me. Okay? This is who I was when you raised me in your programming. And his mom said, look, and when that mama and his dad was in that office, and the mama said, listen here, you gonna lose that boy. She said, he is grown. And she said, you cannot whoop him. She said, you not gonna whoop nobody. I said, you better, I said, you best to tell it. But when she said, you about to lose that boy, that's what it be. It be, people be imposing too much. It's too much opinions. It's too much imposing. It's too much. It's like you're crippling people. You're crippling them when you're always giving somebody opinions on opinion. You're crippling them. And some people, they know that they crippling them. They know it. And some people, they don't know. But if you always come to their rescue, you crippling them. If you always giving them your opinion, you're crippling them. And Michael Jackson, he had to understand how to get out of feeling crippled. Okay? And so when he finally got his new exec to work with him, look, this is how he started to get clarity. You know that scene where he's sitting in a room by himself, but he got this monkey with him, and he like, oh, this is that, and he always had that Neverland book. That was him getting a new identity. That was him separation. That was him being consistent in his dream and always looking at that Neverland dream. Right? And he said to his new HR, new exec, he's like, I see myself doing short films. I see myself, doing sold out stadiums, not arenas. He said, I want millions of people. I want millions of people to, no, he said, I want thousands of people to fill out them seats. When you're by yourself, you can start seeing your dreams clearly. You can start seeing your goals clearly. You can start seeing who you are. Your identity gets shaped. It gets molded. It gets crafted the way You want it to be not what this was
Is there
saying.
anything on your mind? Or keep track of any personal spending or sultry deposits?
That's why I made this coloring book.
Write it down.
It says, have you been feeling like yourself lately? I mean, your true self. Are you tired of hearing of what everyone else thinks is best for you? Have you found yourself using social validation as a measurement of your self-esteem? This self-actualization coloring book was created for young women like you, excuse me, who may have got lost in the sauce and other people's doubts and opinions. When truthfully at your core, you are aligned by your own design. For creatives and entrepreneurial spirits, an affirmation coloring book. Because not everybody gonna root you when you own your entrepreneurial journey. Not everybody gonna root you. A lot of people, why you doing that? Why you doing that? Why you ain't got a regular 9 to 5? Why you doing that? Trying to make you question what you doing. When really, when you're doing something opposing to another person, they feel like, why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they making that choice? That choice wasn't made for you. Everybody's choice don't gotta be the same. And for some reason, folks don't get that. I don't get it. When we were all little kids, this is the ish that grinds my gears. When we were all little kids, okay? And we was in elementary school, and a teacher would be like, oh, what do you want to be for when you grow up? Everybody say something all kinds of different. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a singer. I want to be an artist. I want to be a painter. But when you get older, it's, why you doing that? Please miss me. Please miss me. Okay? So stop adjusting your identity to what others think you should be. How you should be, how you should think, how you should act. Okay? That's why I made my coloring book. Because you don't always tune into the frequencies of everyone else, their opinions, and their thoughts. No, that's not what you do. If you want to be lost in the sauce for the rest of your life and not know what to do or have any direction, keep on listening to them folks. Because they don't know they damn self. Little do you know. Keep listening to everybody else. Okay. This the page that I got marker see-through. So this coloring book, make sure y'all use color pencils. I was testing it. But yeah, it says, here we go. It's a boombox with some headphones, right? Music. It says, your inner voice. Now that's the real music. Trust your intuition. As y'all can see, the other page has marker. I was testing it out. However, but yes, this is my affirmations coloring book for creatives and entrepreneurs. It's on Amazon. No. Yeah. Of course. I accidentally put it on Amazon. It was on literal accident. I think my previous live video explains how it accidentally ended up there. But yes. So I say that to say, if you want spotlight, if you want visibility, if you want a platform, if you want to be really influential, you have to learn how to be alone. You have to learn how to separate yourself from the noise. Okay? And I say that to tell you guys, I am a digital design coach. Okay? What does that mean? I coach people with scattered ideas into building a clear brand message and online presence they can showcase and monetize through YouTube and e-commerce. That means turning your ideas into clear directions, turning your presence into something visible and valuable. It's about turning confusion into structure. I've been on YouTube since 2017. I've had a channel previous to this one. I had a pivotal point and I was like, wait, how come I'm not monetized yet on my channel? How come I'm not monetized? I'm like, I should be monetized right now, by now. Then I was like, wait a minute. I sat down. Listen, if you're ever confused about something, literally sit down and ask yourself, why are you where you are? And it will get clear as day. So I sat down. I had a pivotal moment. And I'm like, oh, that's why my YouTube channel never got monetized. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to make a new YouTube channel. I'm going to take my skill and my talent of designing. I'm going to make videos and show people what I know how to design. And then I'm going to make my designs available for those who would want designs. So I sat down and I said, okay, who would want designs? If I've been on YouTube ever since 2017, that means I make a lot of YouTube banners, a lot of YouTube intros. I know what happens behind YouTube, how to set it up. I'm a setup queen for YouTube and e-commerce. Okay? So I say, you know what? I'm going to make an e-commerce builder workshop. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make it available to everyone else so that they know how to monetize and make money on their own terms. Because this is the time for it. So, with that being said, I will leave my link in the description box. Okay? I have digital design coaching and I have digital design services for small businesses. What does that mean? That means business cards, flyers, link pages. It means PDFs so that they're fillable. It also means web forms. Web forms meaning, you know, if you ever put in your name, last name, email, to like get an ebook or something, or however you put that information. Yes, I make those as well. So anything that have to do with small business design and intake forms and being able to create an email list, I do all of that. Even if you want to set up digital products, but you felt like you needed a big giant website to get started, you don't. Just to sell your digital products, you don't. That's why I created the e-commerce builder workshop. And I will have all of that available in my description box below. So if you know that you're ready to start pivoting in your life and start making money on your own terms and not just relying on a 9-to-5, then I could definitely be the coach for you. All right. What do you think about your job nowadays? Well, it's AI. What do I think about it? I love it because it's helped me. It still helped me see my value. I'm going to say that. Yes, I know people are using AI for like web design, but this is the thing. Here's the clarity. I help people lay it out. I don't help people make websites, if that makes sense. So I don't design
prayers and keep a gratitude journal.
I don't design websites for people. That would take absolutely too long. I help them think about, plan it out. What content are you going to make? What message are you going to have? How are you going to verbalize it? How are people going to understand it? How are you going to make it convert so that people want to buy from you? That's what I help people do. Plan it out. And then if you want the services outside of the planning, that's why I have both, the coaching and the services. So, how do I feel about it? Great. Because it allows other people to know pieces that I don't have to explain. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like a sidekick for me. Yeah. All right, so this video has been long enough. Once again, I'm your digital design coach for YouTube and e-commerce. Check the description box after this live ends, and I'll see you on my next one.